Mary had a little man. The fault. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon.
I have a dream today.
Change has come to America.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
What's the difference between a wet raccoon and Donald J. Trump's hair? A wet raccoon doesn't have $7 billion fucking dollars in the bank.
It's Friday, you bastards.
You know what she said?
What?
Shout it out, because I don't want to. Okay, you're not allowed to say, and I never expect to hear that from you again. She said, I never expect to hear that from you again. She said he's a pussy. That's terrible.
Oh. He said the P word, motherfucker. It's just disgusting. He is such... Okay, so now there's a lot to do today. A lot to get to today. We have another kid showed up dead, shot in the back by the police. We've got to talk about that. We never did get to the Corey Jones case. I don't even think you know who he is. Charles Kinsey, I think we touched upon a couple weeks ago before the Donald started swearing up a storm, calling people MFs, and, we were able to put them all together in a nice... But I forgot to pee, so I'm a little edgy right now. I forgot to go. Right before the show, I go, and I didn't go. I'm loaded up on coffee. I drank a whole pot. Not the pot. My pot is a pot of coffee, okay? Please make a note of it. Thank you. Thank you. However, I didn't pee because now I'm babysitting a chat room. See, I'm in there now. 670 of you in there. And I'm babysitting all of you, because some guy called me yesterday and says, Howie, my show ended on such a bummer. It ended on such a sad, sour note from a disenfranchised chat roomer. Chatterbait? What the hell? Do you sit there and watch me and touch yourself? I don't even know. So now I'm having to watch myself on the YouTube, which totally throws me off my game. And then babysit you in the chat room to make sure that you let this guy back. I know what he said. He told me to go F myself. So what? Okay, so what? I've been called every name in the book. Okay, I'm not that thin-skinned. So let him back in, because he called me yesterday at the end of the show, and I thought about him all night long. This is not good for my life. It's not good for Howard's life that I would be thinking about that guy, because he said to me, chatting is what I do. And now I feel homeless. Oh, my God. Oh, that got to my bleeding liberal heart. I just felt so bad. He said he felt disenfranchised. He felt homeless. People should not have kicked him out. So now, that was the best call ever yesterday. See, now I'm reading what you're writing. And I don't need to, I don't need to do this. I should have peed instead of spending my time. But anyway, I got to just go over what's in the newspapers today. Most of this, I think all of it, is in the homework section at randyrhodes.com. You just go to Randi Rhodes Show, and the drop-down menu comes up, and then the first thing there is homework. Click on that, and you'll see all these articles. Oh, my God, this is, amazing. The ex-head of the CIA. Oh, yes, the Central Intelligence Agency, Mike Morell. He wrote an op-ed today in the New York Times saying, I ran the CIA, and now I'm endorsing Hillary Clinton. And basically it's because he said he found her to be detail-oriented, thoughtful, inquisitive, and willing to change her mind if presented with a compelling argument. And he does not find any of these qualities in the Donald. Then you've got 100,000 vets yesterday descended upon John McCain's office on up in the Senate there in the I don't know. Is he in Dirksen, Howard? Is he in Dirksen? Yeah, John McCain. Oh, he's in the Russell. He's in the Russell Senate office building. So they went there, and they presented him with a petition signed by 100,000 veterans urging him to unendorse Donald Trump. I thought the military loved him. I'm the military. I don't love him, so that couldn't have been right. But I guess if he says that the military loves him, the military hates him. So here you have 100,000 vets. Also, another article in the National Review, William F. Buckley's conservative, piece of crap thing. They said if elected, Trump would destroy conservatism, the only solution to our country's woes. They don't believe he's a conservative. But beyond that, when you get down deep into this article, which I love when they put there that Hillary's a better choice in the National Review, it just kills me. They say Trump is neither honest nor decent. They say Trump doesn't even bat 190. He's the 2013 Dan Ugla of politics. Now, I haven't followed baseball since the 1969 New York Mets won the World Series, so I'll just say he's number 6 Al Weiss, because that's my baseball reference, and that's how freaking old I am. So anyway, they say conservatives are now under heavy pressure to pull the lever for Trump. And they say there are two main arguments advanced by Trump voters. First, that Donald Trump would be better than Hillary. And second, that anyone who refuses to vote for Trump bears moral responsibility for Hillary. He says both of these arguments are false. Okay, there you go. You're free to vote. He said that Trump is not honest and is morally deficient. He said that he knows nothing about the Constitution and that what he does know about it is incorrect. He said he is a man who says openly he wouldn't mind much losing the Republican Senate majority. There it is. Therein lies the problem, the rub. It's the down ticket. It's the down ticket Republicans, the Kelly Iots, the Mark Kirks, okay? That's who's scared. That's who's freaked out. That's who's like urging all of these conservative magazines to write these terrible articles saying, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to vote for him, but just vote for us. Because there was a report last night about the down ballot and how freaked out. Now, all the crap that Trump said, I mean, he could play these things all day long.
So I started off talking about trade and Obamacare and all that stuff. Believe me, I can do that stuff so easy. Just trust me, I can do it so easy. You're going to be so happy.
He's so deranged.
At the end of a couple of years, you're going to say, wow, what a difference. It's going to be so good. Just rely. But it really ended up, and then I just see this, that the new CNN poll, ISIS. Who's number one with handling ISIS? Trump, 46%. No, think of it. Because they know I don't mess around. They know these politicians are all talk, no action. It's just all bullshit, okay? All bullshit.
I mean, you could do this all day. You just do a quick search on the internets for Donald Trump swearing. You'll get many compilations. You'll get standalones. You'll get, the P word. You'll get the bull. You'll get the shit. You'll get Rosie's ugly. Rosie's fat. You'll get motherfucker. You'll get all these things. I mean, these things. Now, I mean, I can say because I'm on the internets and I'm a talk show host. I am not running for president. Donald Trump is. So this is really, for all the stuff that he said, for all the stuff, okay, the bigotry, I can't trust a judge because his parents were Mexican, Mexicans are murderers and rapists, and John McCain is no hero, and the whole thing with the Khan family, and I'm going to punch him so hard his head will spin, and I'm going to disband NATO, and she worships Lucifer, and I'm going to build a wall, and I alone can fix it, and you'll wake up the next morning, it'll be just so beautiful, it'll be just all secure, everything will be just hunky-dory, but I alone can do it. I'll ban Muslims into the country. I know nothing about foreign policy. I just know to ban Muslims. I'm not releasing my tax returns. Lock her up. She should be shot for treason by the guy who represents the veterans for the Trump campaign, Al Baldessaro, who, by the way, like I said, 100,000 veterans said, shut up, Al. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. We don't want her. Women are pigs and they bleed, and, a disabled reporter is just something to mock. And, if I shoot somebody on 6th Avenue, I could still, all these things. None of them faze the Republican Party, just so you know who they are. Never mind him. We know who he is now. He showed us 8,437,852,122 times in $2 billion worth of free media. That's what he got. So we know he is. This is the problem. This is why all of a sudden you got the Republican Party screaming and writing articles and saying, I'm scared of him. Is he just insane? I mean, they have questioned everything about him, from his decency, his morality, to his mental state. Why all of a sudden? Why? This has been going on for more than a year. For more than a year. And now all of a sudden they're questioning their candidate. They're questioning their standard bearer. Really? I would like to think it's because Obama got on the TV and said, yes, he's unfit. And you Republicans, if you think so too, then and you have to constantly distance yourself from everything he freaking says, how is he your standard bearer? I'd like to think that Obama swayed them. But no, he didn't. Because we now have a 4-4 Supreme Court, okay? So, it's, they don't care. They don't care about anything Obama wants or says, common sense gun legislation, another stimulus package to help the economy. No, by the way, jobs came out today. Do you know what the unemployment rate in the United States is? It's 4.9. 4.9%. Good for you, Obama. Good for you. Nicely done. Average wage is $25 an hour. Wow. Yeah. Don't get any ideas, Captain Leary. Don't you? He's 25. She is 25. She'll pay me that because she's a liberal. I think I do, actually. But, okay, so this was the report that freaked them out.
Kelly Ayotte now struggling in her race against Maggie Hassan up in New Hampshire. And one survey showing that Pat Toomey is down over his opponent as well. If it starts to bleed into those races, that's really when Republicans are going to start to panic, because if they can't hold on to Congress, really they'll have nothing after November.
Nothing.
There are, I suppose, the silver lining is it's only August, and people really won't devote much attention to this in most of these states until after Labor Day. But you see those Senate numbers in those two contests, New Hampshire and Pennsylvania. That's Kelly Ayotte and Pat Toomey. If you add Mark Kirk out in Illinois, who's expected to suffer a loss, that's 3 seats that Democrats could conceivably pick up. They need to hit 4 or 5 to retake control of the Senate outright. That could come from Wisconsin, maybe with Ron Johnson, who's skipping an event with Donald Trump this week in the Badger State. It could come from Florida or North Carolina or somewhere else. And so once you start to see surveys showing that those Republican incumbent senators are in trouble, and then potentially you see House Republican incumbents in trouble, that's really when I think top Republican leaders that work here in Washington, at least, will really begin to panic. There are still a few dozen House Republicans who have primaries this month. There are a handful of Republican senators, including John McCain out in Arizona, who still have primaries. I think once the dust settles on those, new surveys are taken, and we see whether or not Trump is having an effect on them, will we really start to see mass defections, if any, because of concern about what he's doing to those down-ballot races.
And that's why they're turning on him. Not because of anything he said, not because of his ill-preparedness, not because he's a bombastic demagogue, not because he's a narcissistic sociopath, not because he's insulting to women, to Mexicans, to Muslims, to you name it, he hates them. Any person that's not a Trump is an other to him. No, has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with he may be aiding and abetting Putin, which is what Mike Morell said. He's become Putin's dupe. Okay? No, not because of any of these things. It's because of their own hides. Their own skin is in the game, and they don't think that they can get reelected or make it through their primaries with Donald Trump as their standard bearer. That's why they're freaking out. That's why all of a sudden you see all these articles. I mean, the Wall Street Journal, Clinton jumps to 9-point lead over Trump. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid, Republicans. Do you know what I mean? They have articles in the whole entire editorial section today. The entire editorial section. And if you want to see that, just Google New York Times opinion page, and you'll see the whole entire editorial page is trashing Trump. Every single editorial in almost every newspaper today. And even in the magazines like the National Review, trashing Trump. You know why? Because they know he is a black hole, and he will suck all these people into the black voidness along with him. And they just, they're freaked out. They're just freaked out. So this is why all of a sudden the Republican Party, and I only point this out so that you know that Donald Trump has shown everybody who he is repeatedly for more than a year now, and they haven't said a thing. They've enabled him. They've gone silent. You know, you've got these weenies. You've got these Paul Ryans and even John McCain, who really ought to be ashamed of himself, staying uber quiet when John McCain was insulted. His POW, his time in the Hanoi Hilton was insulted and denigrated by Donald Trump. He didn't say anything. He didn't tell him, you have no idea what you're talking about and you're going to alienate the entire military vote, or, he didn't say a word. It's only now that he's in a primary in Arizona and he's starting to look at numbers and go, oh, crap, I could lose my primary in Arizona. John McCain losing a primary. Do you know how and the same thing with Paul Ryan. Paul Ryan in Janesville, Wisconsin, everybody. Janesville, that's his district. He's got a primary challenger who's like a mini Trump. He is. He's a little mini Trump. He's a really wackadoo. But you know what the beauty of voting for that guy is? He'd be a backbencher, and you would lose the Speaker of the House position. That would be the beauty, is it would be a whole reset for Paul, for the Republicans, for the Republican leadership in the House. They'd have to start all over. They'd have to find somebody new. Nobody wants that job. Paul Ryan didn't want that job. Nobody wants that job because they're all a bunch of lunatics and maniacs, especially after the Tea Party, crap in 2010. And many of those House Republicans are Tea Partiers who probably won't see another term. So Ryan didn't want that job. But he is the Speaker of the House. And he's like, well, I'm not endorsing him, but I support him. Really? You talk about weasel words. Today, Hillary Clinton gave a press conference, finally. Thank God she did. She killed it. She absolutely killed it. But they're all attacking her over the email thing again. And quite frankly, no one cares. And then there's a problem because now there's testimony from James Comey. Under oath, he testified about which emails were marked classified, which weren't, how many there were. And, Fox News has been editing those statements by James Comey and putting those on the TV. I'll play you what Fox News played, and then I'll play you what the real answer was, and then I'll play you what Hillary Clinton said today at the press conference. She had a press conference with the National Black Journalists and National Latino Journalists. It was interesting.
The Randi Rhodes Show is live on RandiRhodes.com and the free Progressive Voices app for Android and iOS. Visit the App Store or ProgressiveVoices.com now.